Now the woman who had come with him out of Galilee followed, and saw the tomb and how his body was laid. Then they returned and prepared spices and perfumes. And on the Sabbath they rested, according to the commandments. Luke 23:55 and 56. The day in between. Roosters don't observe the Sabbath. It turns out Peter would have awakened Saturday morning to the loud, repetitive, and humiliating reminder of his denial of Jesus and of the Savior's piercing gaze. The reality of facing every morning for the rest of his life with the raucous flashback of his failure must have seemed unbearable. Just when Peter thought he could weep no more, the bitter tears must have again flowed down a face wrinkled with regret. No doubt Saturday dragged long in the thoughts of Jesus' disciples. The Sabbath allowed for no work or considerable activity. It was as if God's love forced them to sit and to think and to lament their failures. The cross had thrust them into the ugly face of their misplaced hopes for glory. Jesus would soon show them that the Messiah didn't fail their expectations. Quite the opposite. Their own expectations had failed them. The shattered disciples had built their hopes on their own dreams of glory and greatness, and not on what Jesus had told them. Greatness in God's eyes comes through living with a servant's heart, the kind of life Jesus had modeled in his life and in his death. Though they walked in the footsteps of Jesus for years, they had failed to hear his words. Even being upstairs with Jesus and eating the Passover lamb had failed to open their eyes. It took the cross. Jesus clearly foretold his death to his men, and it unfolded with all the uncompromising precision he predicted. But his death wasn't all he promised. It was only the beginning. In creating the world, God ceased working on the Sabbath, or Saturday. That means that God began creation on a Sunday morning, the same day of the week Jesus rose from the dead. The next morning, as the sun pierced the darkness, Peter's rooster would crow again, announcing a very, very different new day. See Luke 24:13 through 27 and John 12:31 through 33.